I'm not as enamored with Hitchcock as everybody else is, nor am I that enamored with, nor am I overly enamored with Psycho. Fuck Janet Leigh in Psycho, but Anthony Perkins is my fifth. Janet Leigh can hold a flickering birthday candle to Tony Perkins. Okay, but we're talking about performance. I mean, the fact, in real life, Janet Leigh is only okay in that movie, and she was nominated for Best Supporting Actress, and Anthony Perkins wasn't nominated.
He wasn't?
No, he wasn't. Fuck Janet Leigh. So you can't even say, oh my God, I can't believe Anthony Perkins wasn't nominated. And then you realize, oh, it's worse than that. Janet Leigh was.
So there's actually another bit in Psycho that actually is closer to something I wanted to talk about. I think there's one moment in a movie, and I think it's a profound audience moment. In Psycho, there's the moment where Anthony Perkins is disposing of the car. And he dumps it in the lake, and it's sinking, and then it stops. And then you see the look on his face. Okay, just me describing it, that's a nice bit unto itself. The profound part of it is the audience wants the car to sink.
He's eating a snack as well, isn't he? Chewing on a nut or something?
He's eating a snack. But you want him to get away with it. You don't want it to stay there. You don't want him to get caught by the cops. You are willing the car to go down in the water. You're worried for him. You're worried for Norman Bates at that moment. You want him to get away with it. You want him to dispose of the dead body of the heroine of your film.
Fuck Janet Leigh. If I had to offer up one Honda film, I think for serious consideration, it would probably be his Attack of the Mushroom People. It's the one that's the creepiest idea. It's like a playboy guy. He's got a bunch of rich friends, and they're on this yacht. And they're just chilling out on this yacht on a little vacation, sailing around. And somehow they just get shipwrecked on this island. And they're like, okay, what the fuck are we going to do? And then for a little bit, it almost turns into a Lena Wertmiller movie where there's kind of this weird division of classes. And now the shit's hit the fan. What are we going to do? But then they find these mushrooms. And so they start eating some of the, don't eat. We don't know if those could be toadstools. They could be poisonous. Well, I don't know what we're going to do, So somebody tries them and they go, hey, these are really great. Yeah, they are really great. And so now they're all eating the mushrooms and now everything's okay because they're all eating the mushrooms and it's all really great.
It's like my college years.
Yeah. And now everyone's just chilling. And nobody has any problem with anybody else. And yeah, they're stuck on the island, but now that's not so bad.
We got mushrooms. Don't worry about it.
There's a lot of mushrooms here. We're all good. Everything's going to be fine. And what you realize is the more you eat the mushrooms, the more you turn into a mushroom person until you actually become a mushroom. For a while, and there's becomes people for a while who try to resist it, but they can't resist it. And
it's a little Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
It's very much Invasion of the Body Snatchers, just done with with even more interesting metaphor via the mushrooms.
Yeah.
And the isolation of them just stuck in this thing where no, of course you're going to become part of this island. Anyway, it's just a terrific movie. It's absolutely terrific. I can imagine with Brian De Palma. I think he saw Repulsion and he was like, wow, this guy figured it out. He completely figured it out. This is Hitchcock for a new audience. This is Hitchcock for a new age. He's made it very clear that he thinks everything that Hitchcock did after Psycho can be thrown in the garbage, including The Burbs. He's like, oh, this guy figured it out. But in particularly, he sees Repulsion.
Yeah.
And he thinks of Repulsion, oh, this is the way you do a Hitchcock movie now. This is a Hitchcock thriller for a new age. And where Hitchcock could be disturbing in the margins, when it came to Polanski, disturbance was the whole point. It was the whole enchilada. It was the reason to make the movie. Now, I do not think that he puts Argento as high as he would Polanski. Then De Palma is like, oh, well, that's that. Well, that's that then. Okay. there's a new master of macabre, and his name is Roman Polanski. That is what time it is. This guy is the guy. Then what happens next? The Manson family. And they kill his wife, and they kill his unborn child. And as Don McLean would say about Bob Dylan, the jester is on the sidelines wearing a cast. So he's out of the picture. So with Polanski showing the way, and him, well, I guess that's the guy. But now the guy is taken out of the picture.
Through tragedy.
Through tragedy.
So he stops making movies for the unforeseeable time.
Yeah. Tragedy, he's sidelined, truly sidelined. You know, a great football player, his knee shattered. Mm-hmm. He's off on the sidelines. Picking up where Polanski left off, again with the Psycho thing, and pulling it off, is Argento. So with the Romero movies, there's a mythology there to explore. Night of the Living Dead, it's everybody, it just happened. And so they're trapped in a house. The first time I saw Night of the Living Dead was actually a pretty interesting screening because I knew it was showing up on television. And I was at an adult party. It was when I was 16, saying I was older, working in a community theater. And I'd always wanted to...
What did you do at the community theater?
Oh, I was acting in plays. Okay. But I was hanging around all these adults. I said I was 18 so I could do the plays there. And so they were having one of their parties that Saturday night, and at 1 o'clock they were showing Night of the Living Dead, and I'm finally see it. So I don't even know whose house this was. I went in the bedroom and turned on the TV, and I ended up watching it to the very end. And then when that was over, I went out and joined the party.
What did you think when you first saw Night of the Living Dead?
No, I thought it was fantastic, but I was blown away by the ending. When Dwayne Jones gets killed, I was blown away. Yeah, these Pittsburgh actors, you spend so much time with them that their amateurness is the amateurness of the best kind, because they're not, they're actors because they love acting. That's what made George Romero such a terrific filmmaker, was that he was a legit regional filmmaker. And what made it special was the slightly homemade quality to the movie. Our mutual friend Elvis Mitchell has been working on this thing of the top 10 seminal, basically black movies, for lack of a better term, starting in the late 60s and basically ending at the end of the 70s. His two bookends, number one is Night of the Living Dead, and on the other end of the spectrum, the last official one is The Wiz. No, I don't think I actually saw Rosemary's Baby. I missed Rosemary's Baby. I think through my childhood. I think when I finally saw it, I don't think I saw it even from beginning to end. Mm-hmm. I think it was just, it was on television and I saw little clips from it. But I remember when it came out. I mean, there was like the two scariest graphic posters of, when I was 4 and 5, whereas like the pictures of the guy's eyes from In Cold Blood. And that poster was always really scary. And then the crib, on the Rocky Mountain was always really scary to me. I didn't actually end up seeing Rosemary's Baby from beginning to end, frankly, to tell you the truth, until fairly recently. In the last 6 years was like the first time I sat down and watched Rosemary's Baby from beginning to end. It was one of those things I felt like I'd seen it. I think Rosemary's Baby is actually one of the greatest movies ever made now and stuff. But it was one of those ones that I ended up missing it. It was just so famous by the time. And also, for some reason, I never took it home to watch it on video. And I didn't really want to watch it on television, because usually before video cassettes, when a cool movie ended up on television, well, that was the death of it, because they were going to cut the crap out of it. So I never wanted to watch it then. I just saw little sections of it. Oh, he was the hottest director, most famous director in the world. I've met him a couple of times. The hottest filmmaker alive, which at that time, it's almost unfathomable now to think about how much money Rosemary's Baby made in its day. Back then, if a movie made $8 million, it was like, oh my God. All right, that made like $35 million or something. No, I'm a fan of Roman Polanski's work, but in particular Rosemary's Baby. I like that a lot. Well, it was that movie. That movie caught a wave. That movie made $30 million back when movies didn't make $30 million, not in their first run. If a movie made $12 million, oh wow, that's
a huge
that's
hit.
a smash. My Fair Lady would make $60 million or $70 million. Sound of Music would make $60 million or $70 million because they played for 3 years straight continuously, and every family in America saw it like 3 times. So to make in your initial run, make $30 million in a movie that they're being rather prohibitive about who and who can't see it, it was a phenomenon. And The Devil had never been dealt with in that realistic a form before. A horror film had never seemed both so completely realistic, completely living in the world that we know, and then yet be terrifying. It was also the explosion of Mia Farrow as an icon, as a style icon. Twiggy could have played that part with the Sassoon haircut, with her Peyton Place lineage, and then the whole Frank Sinatra of it all still attached to everything. It was an absolute phenomenon. Sharon, Roman would have cast her as Rosemary.
Oh, wow.
If he could have. Wow. All right. He said, he said that, I can't imagine anybody but Mia Farrow playing the role. All right. But he said that, he actually would have loved to have cast Sharon as Rosemary, but he kept waiting for the Paramount producers to bring it up. And when they didn't bring it up, he thought it would be unprofessional of him to bring it up. But if they had of, he would have gone right down that road. I have a movie theater in Los Angeles, a revival house called the New Beverly. Usually on October, it's all horror films, the entire calendar. But what I look for our midnight movies is usually on our Saturday midnights, we change it up. But what I try to do on October is find a bona fide horror classic that is 100% held the test of time, that everyone knows about it, most people have seen it, but maybe they haven't seen it on film in a good print in a while. Or maybe they've never seen it, or it's been 20 years since they've seen it with an audience reacting to it. But a bona fide, across the board, modern day horror classic, not showing the black and white one. The second one was Rosemary's Baby, and that played magnificently. But there's an interesting thing about Rosemary's Baby is in Polanski's autobiography, he didn't want anything supernatural to happen during the course of the movie because he wanted Rosemary to be an unreliable narrator. He wanted you to feel that she could just be crazy. Nothing supernatural happens for the entire course of the movie. She could just be paranoid. She could be suffering from some weird pregnancy delusion.
So Rosemary's Baby kind of thing, where, the whole thing Polanski wanted to do with Rosemary's Baby is, well, yeah, we take Rosemary's word for the conspiracy that she thinks is happening because, one, we're watching a horror film. And 2, we like Rosemary, so we're taking her at her word, and it's a fucking horror movie.
The thing, I like the reading. I really, really, really enjoy the reading of Rosemary's Baby, that she's just going through postpartum depression.
Yeah.
There is absolutely nothing supernatural that happens in the movie up until at the very end, and even that is ambiguous, and that she literally could be fucking losing it. She literally could be fucking losing it, and Ralph Bellamy could be 100% right. And the only thing that says it's not is when they go, look at his eyes. Well, what the fuck does that mean? Yeah. And what he's going to take over the world with eyes like a fucking coyote? But no. What does that mean? Yeah, exactly. We read so much into that. Even, the lovemaking scene, well, that could just all be a dream. That's a really interesting point. It's not until she actually says, what have you done to his eyes? That there is finally a physical manifestation of what she's been talking about. All of her fears of the neighbors and the things that they're doing, all of it is absolutely circumstantial evidence. She could just be a paranoid freak. Even to the point when she goes to her Charles Grodin, her first doctor, and even when, sinister Dr. Saperstein says, you know, if you don't quit messing around, we're going to take you straight to an insane asylum. Well, if she was actually really flipping out, that's probably what they would say to her.
But if you look at everything she's saying, it's just all circumstantial evidence. There's nothing necessarily there's nothing supernatural in anything she's saying. Even at the end, okay, yes, she's right. There is a conspiracy going against her. Does that mean it's the devil's son? Could they just all be a bunch of lunatics? Yes. If they all said "Hail Pan" as opposed to "Hail Satan," would you take them less seriously? Nothing could be going on.